All right, so my name's Tim Stofield. I was a foreman here for Viking Fire Protection. Walked through the whole thing. I want to start out by saying I'm Benson Tech, class of '84. They had to pay me a lot of money to do this building. So here's your main feed to the building. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Grant at all. Ever worked here? They did have fire sprinklers a little bit in here when we first started. That's the main feed. You can kind of see where that red tape is right there. There's a vault right there. That's your main shut-off for the whole campus. So if worse comes to worse and you can't get something shut down, that's your last point right there. You just go shut that. It'll take care of every building in here. There is, I believe there's 2 hydrants back here. We didn't do the hydrants, but they come off the fire line also. If you have to work on those, just best to shut it off at the vault. If you're working inside the building, I'll take you to every spot in there, and that will show you what areas. We have maps that show every different spot, but that's your last resort if you can't figure it out.
What's it shut off with?
It's OS&Y valves. Yeah, 2 OS&Y. It's not alarmed. It's just chain and locked, I believe, Ryan. That's how we're leaving that. So I'm sure you guys will have keys for that.
Yep.
So FTC for the fire trucks. That's their only connection to pump in. Some other buildings you might have been familiar with around, they have them on the buildings. You guys just have one point for the fire trucks, and that's right there at the street. So that's all we need to see out there, I think.
Perfect. Let's go on in. And we're going to just follow you two.
Yeah. So, okay.
We're busy.
So just quick here, the main shutoff for the new gym is that PIV valve right there. So that will take care of just the high part of the gym, this level, and then the basement level. There's also control valves inside we'll go see, but this is another one of your last resorts. If you can't figure out what's what, you can always shut that down, and that will cut the water off to the building. So
Perfect. Too simple. I think it has more stuff on it. Very straightforward.
yeah, it's so this is the underground that comes from the PIV outside, comes in. This is the basement system for the new gym. This is the feed that goes up to the first floor. There's 2 feeds up there. We've got maps that show it, kind of show what they feed. I went around and I put the number of the riser and if it's normally open or normally closed on the back, so you always got that just in case you're not sure. These also show the areas that they feed on every one. You know, it's kind of boxed out. It's pretty self-explanatory. There is a spot or 2 in here that they kind of overlap a little bit. So, but for the most part, what you see.
Open the relief, close the valve.
Yeah. So if you're working on a system, say you're working on the basement, close this valve. All these are pretty much the same in the back here. You open that's the main drain valve back there. They go into various things, you know, you don't want to slam them open, you know, but just, you know, you take it easy. It'll take it, but
You don't want to do that.
you don't want to do
I
that.
got somebody break a fire sprinkler head off.
That's the first thing you do. You come down and you release the drain valve and you close that.
Kind of just, you know, you watch, you know, they all have different, if they control an area, a zone, they will have this on there. It'll show you exactly what zone this valve takes care of.
Close it up and bust one of the heads off. The water's going to flow.
Mm-hmm.
You come right down to come down to this one and
Well, it just depends on where you're at. See, so this is the basement down here. Shows exactly what this takes care of. So you have 16 zones in all these buildings. So they all have tags on them, show exactly what they control. So you kind of have to
Can I get
know
a
that.
copy of each one for my office, so if I have something break, I can look at my office, say, that's where I need to go, and send the person to shut
Sure.
things down.
Yep, we can take care of that for you.
Thanks. That's all I want to know.
Spare sprinklers for any sprinkler in the gym area. So if something breaks, if you need to fix it,
Okay, but just shut the system down is what I need to do.
correct. Shut, drain.
Shut?
Drain in the back, and most of these, 99% of them here are the same scenario
So on
right
that
here.
paper, I need to put down twist handle, pull lever,
Correct.
on each system.
Yes. Yeah. Open is when the trigger is straight up and down. Closed is when it's horizontal.
Because I'm going to train all my guys that custodial-wise, because we'll be the ones here that's going to have to take care of it when it happens.
Yeah.
Just shut it down, let the plumbers come fix it.
Yep. Plumbers. Sprinkler.
That's right. Elevator?
So every one of the IDF rooms has its own shut-off. Those feed all the computers, all the...
Every single one of them?
So there is 7 of them. And they all have their own shut-off, so if a sprinkler head goes off in the IDF rooms,
So we have how many of these?
you can also shut this down.
Yeah, obviously.
Because this is fed...
Because I don't ever have to climb up there, so there's...
No, you can shut it off by that.
Except for testing. Okay.
But in the meantime, if something were to go, you'd shut it down, figure out this is the IDF, you could shut that, turn this back on, and then...
Yeah, well, I'm only worried about testing part right now.
There is a flow switch on every IDF, so if a head were to go off in there, you would know.
And flow it.
Yeah, you can also, there's ways to do that.
Yes,
I'm sure you know how. So, all right, we'll go upstairs.
That's why I'm glad out. Yeah, that's just going to go with CPS, but I don't have...
Okay, so what we have here is we have the high gym, and then we have the concession area, which is on the first floor. Second floor, what we're calling is the whole roof and the whole gym area. So same thing, if a kid hits it's going to be hard for them to hit a sprinkler head up there, but if they do, they can, I'm sure. So same thing, shut off control valve, open up drain.
Handle, arm.
Yep. They all have main drain and control valve on them. Same thing, it shows what number they are. I just wrote what they should end up being. This should be open. There is a few valves in here that are closed all the time. They say normally closed, but kind of same scenario. They all have tags on them, show what they feed. Pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, there's no dry systems. There's no pre-action systems. It's all wet systems. You hit a head, you're getting water right now. So very, very little maintenance on any of these systems. So, all right, we'll move on.
So it doesn't have a lock on it currently, but we'll...
Yeah, I'd
wanna put one
imagine.
on.
Yeah, I'd imagine you guys probably want your own locks on that stuff, but they're all tampered, so somebody
How many
opens
locks
it.
do you have left?
I got a box.
A full box?
Pretty full.
How many do you have?
So there's 1, 2, 3. That one will need a chain on it. That one's actually what's that?
We'll give them the locks before it's over.
Tim, I think you got everybody
Okay. So this is the main control for pretty much the main building. So everything except for the gym is its own thing. So all 3 floors, auditorium is controlled by this PIV right here. Same thing. If you're in doubt, you can always come and shut this valve off. That will take off. It won't drain it, but at least it'll stop the water from coming if if you're in a pinch. So they all are controlled by something, but sometimes you get in a little pickle and it's easier just to come shut the big boy off. So that's that main yeah.
Never have to do that.
You never, yeah. If you have to do that, it's
Also, this is directed towards you, Tim.
I know. He's gonna document it for him, so I have him all. I gotta train everybody.
there you go. Okay, we'll head downstairs.
It says storage on it?
Yeah. Well, it says,
That's the worst thing you could say is storage on it.
Oh, they have no block everything.
Yeah, not that you guys don't know this, but yeah, not that the fire marshal probably walks through too often, but they definitely,
He sees it all.
they don't like to see that. So, kind of the same scenario in here. We've got this is the feed outside that you saw the valve that shuts off everything in here. This goes up to the first floor of the auditorium, and then we have correlating signs for everything that this takes care of. You got the first floor. So this is also a main one. It'll show you everything that this feeds. South end, north end. This one here actually feeds up to the next two levels. So it's kind of it's not just this one. There's valves on the first floor and the second floor that feed. Yeah, this will shut off about 75% of what's in here, but then there's also valves up there that shut off little quadrants. So yeah, so you have main feeds, you have systems that feed certain areas. This is a good one to go off of. It shows you exactly what all these things feed. So if you're ever in a pinch, we'll send you a whole copy of those also. Same scenario, nothing crazy fancy, broken, shut, drain. This one drains into there. It'll take quite a bit.
It'll take it all.
Yeah.
It's neck down to 4-inch down below, probably.
No, it's pretty much stays sick. Yeah, it'll
That
take.
one upstairs was neck down like a hub drain.
Yeah. Those ones up there. This one, it goes right into the main drain. So.
And you got a pretty thin floor drain.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest problem with these big buildings, that they're you can't just kind of read it and go out. You really make sure you're looking at the signs, make sure what level you're on, and then
You will a lot of times see a pressure drop on a particular system if something's going on.
yeah, and you have the.
Oh, is it pumped here?
No, but Roosevelt is.
Roosevelt is.
Yeah, there's no fire pump here. It's really there's only about 60 pounds. Yeah, it's only about 60 pounds here, but it takes care of. The demand is only that much, so we.
Well, if you only have one head going off, you're not going to know.
No, you will. The flow switch will go off for the area that's so. When you go up to the fire riser, the control box, you'll be able to tell which system is going off based off of what flow switch is going off. But also over time, you guys will figure out what's what. Yeah, I mean
It's not a walk through. I understand everything kind of experience.
Exactly. I'm sure you've seen all this stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
Where it feeds that's a whole different story. And I'm sure you're going to get a set of as-built and you'll be able to look on our drawings and kind of see also what. But they're all, same thing. They still have they show exactly what things feed. So this is same thing. So this is riser 4. And you can tell on here, this is riser 4 and it feeds, so it feeds first floor, everything that way.
Those made into plaques. Oh, okay. Because those will be gone.
And put them on the wall behind it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'll talk to.
Or right there behind Jason.
Yeah.
Anywhere. And number these. But anyway,
Wouldn't hurt, yeah,
I could
so
help
you
with
just
that.
bam,
Maybe we get the paperwork first.
Yeah, I mean, when I put these on, they were still painting and everything, so that was the best place to put them at the time. But,
Yeah, we're just looking at somebody, because kids get access somehow.
They do. Here's my sheets.
rip them, yeah, just for no reason.
For no reason, they're kids.
Yeah.
We're actually we're lucky it's a high school, it's not a middle school. They tear stuff apart.
Okay, we'll go up to the first floor. I'll show you. So
Yes.
I kind of actually wrote that on there. That was something I just wrote.
Well, this is the only thing different than most systems.
Yeah.
This kind of, from our old systems, this is a new.
So that doesn't feed any fire sprinklers per se.
Exactly. It's
That
just a leg.
feeds to to the next place. So.
Yep. So that's the only thing a little different. Your video. You know, I'm not happy with
The kids
that.
get in there.
Well, yeah, and you put a lot in a little place.
Yeah,
Lord forbid if I have to work on it, I'm gonna tear the wall out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Another one?
The whole thing should be a door.
So this is the first floor feed. Feeds from downstairs up through here. You have a north and a south. Got the riser sticker right here. Shows you which one is which. Also shows it on the control valve sign which riser it is. Same thing. Head brakes, close, open.
And that runs what? Is there any?
This runs the first floor, not auditorium. No, just north south. So
Auditorium's downstairs in that one room.
yeah, auditorium. Yes. Yeah. There's also. Well, we're going to walk there now.
Oh, there's another one over
There's
there?
another.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not a closet, is it?
No, that one's that one's open. So
Okay.
yeah, we will we'll walk over to the auditorium.
Jamie's supposed to key all those. I won't be using anything in here pretty much.
It just keeps going.
Are they gonna sheetrock the rest of this, or this is it?
Ran out of money. So enough. The rest of those guys need to come. Same scenario.
Auditorium.
Yep.
Are they gonna finish sheetrocking everything here? Are they gonna finish sheetrocking everything here?
No, this wall, this western wall needs to be finished. But the ceiling now.
Not the ceiling,
Not
just the
ceiling,
wall.
Just the wall.
Okay.
Yep. Yes.
Good catch. I won't be using this.
So same scenario here. You have the first floor of the auditorium area, and you have the roof of the auditorium. Same thing. You have signs, shows exactly what everything feeds. Same dry or wet systems. Just shut the valve, open the drain. Just make sure to always, like I said, you guys might do something a little different than I've done, but it gets a little tricky sometimes in the auditorium on what actually feeds what. There's a lower part, and then if you walk on to the stage, there's an upper part, and that's actually fed by the roof sprinklers for the auditorium, like the ones you see out in the high ceiling out there. So just make sure you're shutting off the right thing. Most of the time, if you can get a read off of what the flow switch is telling you to shut off, that's you can't hurt anything by shutting off two things.
No,
it's just
things
that.
off, turn one back on to see if it leaks.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. If you're not sure, shut them both off. Same thing with any of the places in here. You can always fill it back up. So.
I'll always fill back up.
Okay, that's it for that. We'll go to the second floor.
Can I get up there? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Each one of them look like this. Shove that one against the sheetrock.
Nice and tight.
Just for a second.
And then I'm gonna hurt for a long time.
And that's how hard you hit me in the first place. I always tell people that. You have a 50-50 chance.
Maybe you didn't feel it, maybe.
That's right.
Usually don't find that.
Okay, same scenario. Same as up here. This pipe is fed from the basement down where we first walked in. Comes up, feeds the two that we saw in the control panel down there, and the black panel comes up, feeds the next two. Same thing. If you lay this out correctly, one feeds north, one feeds south. Pretty self-explanatory. If you go by, if you're standing in a spot, you pretty much know. You'll have a good idea of which is which. So, same thing. Control valve, drain. Like you said, sometimes you can see if it's bad. You can see the gauge fluttering. That'll help you too. You'll know that water's taken off out of
That'll
it.
do.
Little
one, both of them actually. One
So
of those
these-
big
So you can change the gauge out.
So yeah, you have a couple different things. You can shut this off if the gauge is busted. You can change that.
The other one below the big
So this one. So what these are? This is test and drain. So you flip it one way, it's test. Flip it the other way, it's drain. Test turns this into a 1/2-inch port inside of here. So you can open this up. It simulates a sprinkler head going off, and it'll ring the
You don't have
bell.
to worry about that. The only thing you care about is the big one.
Yeah,
Drain the old one.
you want to keep
This
those.
is not for Tim.
That's all.
This is not for Tim.
I'm just double checking to make sure we're
That's
full on.
ambiance. That was ambiance. That's it.
Don't touch. Put it
And then these here, these are also valves.
don't touch.
So these are if for some reason it got above 175 pounds here,
Blow off.
it'd blow it off. Well, you only have 60 to 65. It will never happen. So those are just for looks. So all right,
There's mine.
I got the easiest thing in.
Before we look at G, is there anything that these guys need to, on a daily, weekly, monthly, need to check? Really, there's no maintenance to it.
Not really. You have a yearly inspection.
Yearly inspection, that's really your main.
I don't know how PPS does it. They
We
make
do
you
a
do quarterly.
visual, which the custodian will do that. And
Okay.
that's just looking at the gauges. And then we do a yearly inspection, and then we do a 6 months on the answer system in the kitchen.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's not part of me. So yeah, it's just a yearly, make sure all the bells and whistles work. The rest of it's,
Just thought I'd check to see if there was anything, so let's look at our last spot in G.
yeah.
And then we're going to be off to our fire detection training right after this.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah,
We'll,
nothing
we'll follow
serious
you.
with me. Building, that's the main shut off for this building. Instead of having a PIV on the outside, they stuck it against the wall.
One on
In
here.
the dirt.
It's kind of in the dirt halfway a little bit, so main shut off. Got any problems in this building that you can't identify,
Yes, they are.
shut that valve off. That'll take care of it. So, all right, we'll go down into the basement. Whoa.
Fire marshal's gonna get mad.
Hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully he doesn't just show up. Yeah.
Can we move this room?
Stop. Yeah, that's definitely a no-no.
My key guy?
Hang horse match. Look at this. Oh, okay. It's warm in here.
Yeah, jeez.
The heater's on. Is that on?
That is on.
Holy
So some of the so you have the spare heads, the same. You have them in the main building also. There's 3 of them in there. So you got every sprinkler head in this building is in one of these. So same thing, comes through the building. That's actually the valve that you see outside the wall up there.
Okay.
It loops around. So this goes up, feeds first floor, second floor. This one feeds the basement.
That means there's a valve somewhere else.
There's valves
Right
first,
above
second
us.
floor, right above
Okay,
us
cool.
there. So, yep,
Okay, thank
same
you.
scenario.
Appreciate it.
They are in the wall, so you need to wall key to get inside.
We said.
Yeah, they'd probably first floor, second floor, same thing. So probably don't need to go out there unless you
No, we don't.
want to.
That's taken care of.
There is one little thing different in here. You have the paint booth upstairs on the second floor. It has its own control valve. It feeds 4 heads that go into the vent that takes all the exhaust out.
Okay.
So if you have an issue up there, you have your own separate shut-off valve for that.
Same kind of shut-off valve.
Yeah, it has its own flow switch. It will tell you that that's where the problem is, so you can always...
The elevator has its own shut off too?
No.
No, it's off
Like
the
the
main.
elevator,
Off of that.
elevator comes off the basement, comes
Gotcha.
down through the...
Yeah, so that's the only one that in this building. That
Yeah,
we have
that's
out.
the
Those
only
4
thing
heads,
that's
right?
different. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty easy. If you've done one, you've done 100, so...
Any other questions for Tim? I'll let you guys use the restroom here in a few minutes, but then we're right off to our next training. So
Sounds great.
if there's nothing else for Tim,
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Tim.
All
it.
right, guys, thanks.
You did excellent. Thank you very much.
Can I get to run?